Continental from the world of John Wick, starring Colin Woodle, Mel Gibson, Ray McKinnon, Ben Robson, Michelle Prada, Peter Green, and many more, is a show about Winston Scott, who is about to become a London businessman. But he is dragged back by his estranged brother's attack on a hotel. Winston sets out to find his brother and sets up an escape plan with the help of his allies. I'm going to first get it out of the way that I absolutely love John Wick. I don't think that I'm part of any minority there. I think many people agree that the John Wick franchise is one of the better franchises in cinema right now. So I was pretty excited for this, as this is the first true spin-off that they've actually been able to complete. So let's start talking about the good. The first thing everybody's going to want to know, is the action good? Yes, it's made by the same people that made John Wick. It opens off with a really good action sequence on a stairwell. Was perfectly done, made you feel right at home with John Wick. And then basically the entire third episode, which is an hour and a half, is almost entirely an action sequence for the majority of the episode, when it was just about the same length as the first John Wick, which is really surprising. The thing personally for me that I absolutely loved in this show was the music. This show takes place in the mid-70s, and I had just about every single song that was used in the soundtrack for every single episode. I have had one of those songs on just about every single one of my playlists. The music choice and how much that they used it, I absolutely loved. It might take a couple people out of the show and get annoying by how much they use it, but I absolutely love the music. I love the music choice, and I think that it added a lot to just about every single sequence and every single scene. The show, especially in the third episode, really made you care about the characters, and every punch behind every single fight really felt like it meant something, and they just do a good job of raising the stakes and making sure that every single decision matters. Every single decision in the show really makes sense. You understand where characters are coming from. Nothing ever really screams absolutely stupid logic. It just does a really good job of weaving the story together, because there's a lot of moving parts, and in the first two episodes you get kind of worried and you're wondering, where are we going with most, if not all, of these stories? You don't really know what you're doing, but by the end you figure out, and it weaves its way together perfectly, so you get left feeling very satisfied at the end. And it was just, overall, I really liked seeing how Jerome and Winston came to be friends, and how Winston really came into his own as a leader. There's definitely a clear character growth of Winston from the start of the show to the end. Now let's get into the bad of the show. The first two episodes, and it is only a three-part series, but the first two episodes are definitely slow, and you get left kind of wondering, where are we going? I bet now if I went back and did a rewatch, those first two episodes would be a lot better. Some of the dialogue is clunky. It is still a John Wick inspired show, so the dialogue in it is still a little silly, but this is a lot more dialogue heavy than John Wick is, especially in the first two episodes, and it's a lot more story narrative based. But again, by the end, I think that really pays off in all the fights in the third episode, and I think that they orchestrated it all really well. But because of how slow it really started off, it took a little bit for me to believe that Winston was the Winston that we came to believe. But I think that just shows how much character growth that they were able to fit into this three-part show. Then just some minor nitpicks in the third episode in particular. Some things are completely unnecessary, like the guy in the operating room just running probabilities on his computer on who's going to win was just completely unnecessary and just weird to have in the show. John Wick movies can definitely be over the top, and that's part of the charm of them. But Mel Gibson, I didn't really care for him or his character that much. It just kind of crossed the line of just being downright cringe-worthy in some scenes, specifically where he was just smelling shit on a towel and going on a tirade with Jerome right there. It just didn't make that much sense. And then the other minor nitpick that I have is that the Chinese businessman trying to take over control of the dojo didn't really make that much sense. It didn't really add that much to the main story. It just gave them something to do, and just added a couple more fight scenes and action sequences that were undoubtedly really good, but those lacked as much emotion as some of the other fights did. So overall, I really enjoyed the Continental. I think that this show is a perfect thing to watch if it's just a gloomy day outside and it's raining and you really have nowhere to go or nothing else to do. It is a very easy, digestible show to just sit down and watch in a day, maybe two. And I think that most people, if you enjoy John Wick, you will enjoy the show. If you don't enjoy John Wick, I think that there's still definitely aspects of the show that people that weren't fans of John Wick, whoever that might be, might enjoy in this show. So that's going to wrap it up for this quick review, guys. Make sure to follow me over on Letterboxd, link for that down in the description below, and we will see you in the next TV or movie review.